What is up, everybody? This is Brad with College SportsCast, and just me today, am here to do our Week 10 weekend wrap-up show.
We executed.
I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it.
Wanted to have some fun, execute.
I had bombs.
Stay as a team, execute, give 100%.
Dippin' Dots sound good.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's Brad with College SportsCast. I'm doing a solo show today, and I am here to do our Week 10 weekend wrap-up show. We just got through concluding yesterday, late last night, the Week 10 of college football. And I'm going to talk about that today and all the happenings over the weekend. And we'll kind of get started with that. But first, we are presented by the Fanboys. And you can find us at greenvillesportsmedia.com and thefanboys.com. Please go to those two and check us out. We got lots of sports stories, lots of podcasts. You can check us out. I'm also part of Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports. I'm a writer for Stadium Rant. I do some of those articles as well. This show is featured on the Real Fresh channel. I'll have some stuff for you guys on that here shortly. And we are on WSBN TV channel 30 here at College SportsCast. So all of those things are exciting. And then right now, this week, we have announced that we are part of Home Field Apparel. And I'm going to do that off the top of the show as well. So Home Field Apparel is a premium licensed college vintage apparel company. They have over, I think, 180 plus teams. You can use our code SCAST for 15% off if you're a first-time buyer. They have really cool vintage retro logos, mascots, designs, throwback teams. If you're a Kentucky West or Texas Westland fan, or if you are a Fiddlin' Five fan, or want to wear something that's really cool that represents these throwback championship teams and stuff, they have tons and tons of it. This week there's a lot of new stuff, a lot of new snapback hats. There is bomber jackets that's new. There is a lot of new stuff for the tip-off of college basketball, so check them out. Again, use our code CSCAST. Go to homefieldapparel.com. All right, guys. Let's kind of get started with our show today. We're going to start out with a college football scoreboard. Our college football scoreboard is going to be presented by Dubby's. I'll have a commercial for you at the end. Dubby's Energy. And I'll have a commercial for you at the end. So this weekend started on Tuesday again, guys. And we have Central Michigan beating Northern Illinois 37-31, and Toledo beat Buffalo 31-13. That was on Tuesday. Wednesday, some MAC action happened on Wednesday, and we had Bowling Green beating Ball State 24-21, and Akron beating Kent State 31-27. On Thursday this past week, had a couple of really good games in here. We had Texas Tech beating TCU 35-28 at home, and Duke beat Wake Forest 24-21 at home. And then Troy beat South Alabama at home as well, 28-10 last Thursday to start out the week. On Friday, we had a couple of games on Friday as well. We had an ACC matchup, Boston College versus Syracuse. Boston College wins on the road 17-10. And Wyoming takes care of business at home over Colorado State 24-15. That was on Friday this weekend. So the day started out with some pretty good games on Saturday, actually, guys. And, I'll start out not just talking about the scoreboard. I mean, I think the biggest game of the day was probably Bedlam. Might be the last Bedlam. It was in Oklahoma State, at Oklahoma State, and they pulled it out against top 10 Oklahoma team and beat them for what is likely the last Bedlam for a long while, because Oklahoma's joining the SEC and does not look like that there will be a continuance in that series, which is a shame for college football, just to be honest with you. But Mike Gundy pulls out the win yesterday, and was, I think, one of the best games of the day yesterday. There was some other good games as well. I mean, you had Ole Miss and Texas A&M. That's kind of in a shootout, went into overtime, 38-35. Texas and Kansas State did the same thing, went into overtime. Texas pulled it out 33-30. So there were some fun games. Wisconsin and USC was a just shootout, 52-42, that Washington pulled out. So there were some really fun games yesterday, but I'll kind of get back to the scoreboard here. It started out with Ohio State at Rutgers. Game kind of started slow. Rutgers was 6-2 going into this game. A lot of people didn't realize that. Ohio State pulls it out 35-16, which is right around where the spread was for this game, and beats Rutgers at Rutgers 35-16. Texas kind of jumps out. This was an early game too. Went into overtime, 33-30 over Kansas State at home, which was a big win for them, because especially with Oklahoma losing, and now Texas is clearly in the driver's seat of the Big 12, even though they lost to Oklahoma. Ole Miss remained with one loss and is won 38-35 in a shootout with Texas A&M. Notre Dame loses at Clemson 31-23. Significant about this loss is that Sam Hartman is now 0-5 against Clemson. And first time in a long time since like a Florida State quarterback or something has lost 5 times to one team. Tennessee blew out UConn 59-3. Arkansas won for the very first time ever in the Swamp 39-36 in an OT. Very close game. Somehow Indiana beat Washington 20-14. Or not Washington. Indiana beat Wisconsin. I'm sorry, guys. Indiana beat Wisconsin 20-14 at home. Michigan State won a game yesterday and beat Nebraska 20-17, which was a little surprising to me. South Carolina beat Jacksonville State 38-28. However, Mike Dowd was on here with me and asked me about the Gamecock Bowl. These are both Gamecocks. And the spread at the time on Thursday night when I done my game day pick'em was 15.5. And I told him, if you can get 15.5, take Jacksonville State. So hopefully that came to fruition, and he did do that, because I did get that right. North Carolina destroyed Campbell 59-7, which was a feel-good win after 2 not-so-good weeks for North Carolina. Sam Houston beat Kennesaw State 24-21. Utah destroyed Arizona State at home 55-3. Georgia Tech beats Virginia 45-17 in Virginia. This Georgia Tech team and their coach is doing what I think is a heck of a job in, I guess you call this year 2. He started like week 3 or week 4 last year as an interim, was hired on. So I'm not sure. I guess this is year 2 for him. Not really, year and a half or whatever is what he's been there. He's got, Brent has got them really, really playing well. They're 5-4 now this season, and on the cusp of bowl eligibility, which would be big for Georgia Tech, just to be honest, if they can get there. They do have Georgia at the end, so they got to win one of the next 2 more than likely. Temple beat Navy 32-18. Army upset Air Force 23-3. I don't know if Air Force was playing without their quarterback. I'm not real sure in that game. I was working Saturday up till about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. So UTSA beat North Texas 37-29. Memphis beat South Florida 59-50 in a shootout. Arkansas State beat Louisiana 37-17. Georgia outlast Missouri in Athens 30-21. That was a good game for most of the game. Florida State beats Pitt at Pitt 24-17. Penn State demolished Maryland. That was a game we talked about and picked on game day. And Penn State showed out. 51 points, gave up 15. I said I expect Penn State to bounce back and look like they have some offense, and they did. So, maybe next week against Michigan, home, night game, they'll have a chance. It is a tough place to play, so maybe they will. Louisville beats Virginia Tech 34-3 and remains with one loss. Tulane beat East Carolina 13-10. Illinois beats Minnesota at home 27-26. Iowa beats Northwestern 10-7. This game was played at Wrigley Field. And DraftKings, who I use for all of our spreads and everything, had a little joke today and put a picture out and said that congratulations to them because the 2 football teams have the 7th highest score at Wrigley Field in the calendar year of 2023. 10-7. That's the 7th highest score total at Wrigley Field this year. I thought that was kind of funny. UMass beat Merrimack 31-21. Houston beats Baylor at Waco 25-24 in an overtime. UCF beats Cincinnati 28-26. James Madison remains undefeated 42-14 over Georgia State. Coastal Carolina beats Old Dominion 28-24. Auburn handles Vanderbilt 31-15 in Nashville. And the sad part is half the stadium or more was Auburn fans in Nashville. Charlotte beats Tulsa 33-26 in an overtime. Southern Miss beats UL Monroe 24-7. Hawaii wins a game 27-14 over Nevada. Texas State beats Georgia Southern 45-24. California was demolished by Oregon, and Oregon actually started kind of slow in the first quarter, 63-19. Liberty remains undefeated, 56-30. New Mexico State beats MTSU 13-7. App State beats Marshall 31-9. UNLV beats New Mexico 56-14. Barry Odom is out there and doing a heck of a job. I think they've only lost 2. They're like 7-2, I believe. UNLV is. Kansas takes care of Iowa State in Ames, 28-21. West Virginia at home demolishes BYU 37-7. Very nice win for them. You know, if they don't have that awful ending and lose a game that they should have won, they're sitting at 7-2. West Virginia. West Virginia's 6-3, even with that terrible loss that they scored a touchdown, and was winning with 20 seconds to go and couldn't close out the game. Even with that, they're 6-3. Utah State beat San Diego State in double overtime, 32-24. Michigan takes care of Purdue, 41-13. Michigan will finally play a good team next week, and Penn State at Happy Valley. So that'll be a tough one. Washington takes care of USC in Los Angeles, 52-42. 3 out of 4 losses now for USC in their last 4 games. So they are reeling out in Los Angeles. So we'll see what happens out there. I'll get into that just a little bit more when we do the AP Bowl here in just a few minutes. Kentucky takes care of Mississippi State in Starkville, 24-3. Significant. First time since 2008 that Kentucky has beat Mississippi State in Starkville. SMU beat Rice 36-31. Alabama, it's another one that I need to talk about real quick. Jalen Milroe yesterday looked amazing. I mean, he really is coming into his own, and they put a big hit on Jaden Daniels. He's in concussion protocol now for this week. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. And they beat LSU 42-28, pretty much wrap up the West. It's going to be very hard for them to lose the West now. And Georgia the same way with their win over Missouri. It's pretty much going to wrap up the East. So it's looking like Georgia and Bama in the SEC championship game. NC State takes care of Miami Hurricanes 20-6 in Raleigh. Western Kentucky takes care of UTEP 21-13. Stanford beats Washington State 10-7. That's a really strange score. I don't know what has happened to Washington State. I don't know if their quarterback, if Cam is out. I don't know what's going on out there. I need to look into it a little bit more because they've been horrible the last 3 weeks. And started out the season really strong, first 4 or 5 weeks. Oregon State takes care of Colorado 26-19 in Boulder. Fresno State beats Boise at home 37-30. And to end last night, Arizona at home takes care of UCLA 27-10. Arizona is looking really, really good. 3 straight weeks have beaten ranked opponents. Arizona, 3 straight weeks. And that, guys, wraps up the college football scoreboard for week 10. And I told you guys, the college football scoreboard is going to be brought to you by Dubby's Energy Drink. So here you go,
And I
guys.
just want to shout out our newest partner, Dubby Energy Drinks. You know, energy drink, you get the powder, you mix it up at home, but it's better than any of that coffee, any of that energy drink you get. There's no crash, no jitters, no angst. They have a patented neural factor. That's the star of the show. They got brain food. I'm talking taurine, tyrosine, glutamine, more. They only have the best amino acids. Only the best brain benefiting vitamins. I'm talking B3, B12, vitamin C, much more. I'm also talking 150 milligrams of caffeine, so just like your energy, it gives you that kick. There's no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fake colors, no dyes, no fillers, no BS. You can go to w.gg, make sure you use the code REALFRESH, 2 words, code REALFRESH, get 10% off for your order and support the show. Or if you'd rather just copy paste the link from the description.
All right, guys, that was Howie Fresh from the Real Fresh channel, and we are featured on his channel on Sundays with our Sunday show here, usually late Sunday or on Mondays. So go and use the Real Fresh for the code for W Energy Drink. We are all looking for a pick-me-up. So there you go, guys. All right, our next show topic that we're going to do is we're going to cover the new AP poll that came out just an hour and a half ago, and going to do a little bit of coverage on that for you guys, as long as I can get it to come up. So I think the first like 8 or 9 didn't change at all. Hang on a minute. I'm having trouble getting the. Okay, I can't get it to come up, of course. It came up just a few minutes ago. But anyway, I'll start out. So Georgia is still number 1, big surprise. Michigan's still number 2. Ohio State is still number 3. Florida State is still number 4. Washington is still number 5. Oregon is number 6. Texas is number 7. Alabama is number 8. And Penn State is number 9. And I think that's the first time since like 2017 that the first 9 teams in the AP poll has stayed the same from one week to the next. November of 2017, I'm pretty sure. Number 10 is Ole Miss. They moved in and Oklahoma moved out of the top 10 in the AP poll. Give me just a second, guys. Okay. Hang on. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So I told you the top 10. I can't get this stuff to come up right. All right, week 11. Louisville is number 11. Sorry, guys, number 11. Oregon State is number 12 in the AP poll. Utah is 13. Tennessee is 14. Oklahoma State moves in at 15 after their big win over Oklahoma. Missouri is 16. Oklahoma fell to 17. LSU is 18. Kansas moves up to 19. Tulane is 20. James Madison is 21. Notre Dame fell 10 spots to 22. Arizona moves in at 23. North Carolina moves back in at 24. And Liberty is 25. So Georgia gets 49 first place votes. Michigan gets 9 first place votes. Ohio State 3 and Florida State 2 in your poll. And like I said, it's the first time since November 19th, 2017 that the first 9 teams in the poll stayed the same. USC, for the very first time under Lincoln Riley, drops out of the AP poll after a 6-0 start. They've lost 3 of their last 4 and allowing 46 points a game. Having said that, news just come out that USC is firing Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator. So that's news that just broke, to be honest with you, in the last little bit. Georgia, 21st straight week that they have been ranked number 1. That is tied for the second most ever. 33 and 21 are the top 2. Georgia tied the 21 straight weeks. The irony is the top 2 in the streaks, USC and Miami. USC was 33, Miami was 21. The top 2, they both lost in the championship game. So we'll see what happens with Georgia. Oklahoma State moved in this week. Arizona moved in. Liberty moved in for the first time. And North Carolina moved back in. Dropping out were Air Force, UCLA, Kansas State, and USC for the first time in the AP poll. Conferences, we have 6 SEC, 5 Pac-12, 4 Big 12, 3 Big 10, 3 ACC, 1 American, 1 Conference USA, 1 Sun Belt, 1 independent, being Notre Dame, staying in at 22. And that, guys, is a quick look at the AP poll. And with that, I'm going to give you guys another little taste here, a promo of the Real Fresh channel with Howie Fresh.
Hey, I am Hal Fresh here to tell you about the Real Fresh channel. That's right, youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel. We are a network aiming to bringing you various content each and every day, different types of podcasts, different type of content. Anything from college sportcast and fresh takes for some sports. We also got You Want to Do What? We got the Wrestling Corner. We got live stream. Just go over to youtube.com/The Real Fresh Channel and hit us up today. Thank you for checking it out. Appreciate your time.
All right, guys, welcome back. Hit up Howie Fresh with his Real Fresh channel. Check him out on YouTube and subscribe to him. Subscribe to College Sportscast, of course, and Talking Kentucky. Those are the three that I suggest. But anyways, so check out Howie Fresh and the Real Fresh channel. All right, guys. So, the college football landscape after this week, Oklahoma picks up their second loss. They're likely out, to be honest with you. Texas still has an outside shot in the Big 12. They are 7th. Oregon and Washington have already played. They're 5-6 in front of them. And, we'll see what happens. They may meet up again in the Pac-12 championship game. So they may have a rematch. And so they may be able to move up in front of them. At least one of them. Michigan and Ohio State play each other. So, we'll see exactly what happens there. But Oklahoma, I told y'all in my game day pick'em that, their defense has not been quite as stout the last 3 weeks. They give up another 27 points and lose the game 27-24, I believe, this past week in Bedlam. So, I think their defense is kind of what's failing them just a little bit, not near as much as USC. I just told you USC's given up 46 points a game the last 4 games and lost 3 of them. Not near as much as them. So we'll see exactly if they can get it fixed with Coach Venables and see. But, outside of them, Ole Miss won, still stayed in the chase. Penn State and Michigan play each other this week. I think Penn State is still in the chase if they could win. Missouri probably got knocked out with their loss. Missouri plays Tennessee this week. So that's going to be a tough game for them. We'll see how that turns out. But with their second loss, it probably knocked them out of any chance at the college football playoff as well. So, we're looking at the top 9 teams and probably Mississippi being the 10. I think that's what we're looking at for the 4 field, because there's just 4 again this year, the last year of 4. So, if you're looking at at who's still has a legit shot, I would say right now we're looking at about 10 teams that still have a legit shot. A lot would have to happen to have a couple of those 2-loss teams. I mean, Oregon State's got 2 losses. Utah's got 2 losses. Oklahoma's got 2 losses. There's Oklahoma State's got 2 losses. There's quite a few in there. In that, Louisville still has 1 loss, and they're 11th. I just have a hard time seeing that they really have a shot, but maybe they do. But if they was to win out and beat Florida State in the ACC championship, but I just don't see that happening. I mean, I guess they still, so that would be 11 that still have an outside shot. So there is your college football landscape, that would give you 9, plus the Mississippi and Louisville, who still have 1 loss. So that's 11 teams. All right, I'm going to get to the good, the bad, and the ugly of Week 10 for you guys. I do this each week, just to have a little fun. So the good for Week 10 for me is got to be Mike Gundy and his Oklahoma State Cowboys. To get that last win for them, I think I seen where they're like they've only won 20 and lost 92 or something in that series. Mike Gundy has been involved in 33 of them, and I think that was his 7th win. I think that's what I've seen. 4 as a coach. I'm not sure if he got 1 as a player, as an assistant coach, things like that. I think he's been a part of 7 wins against Oklahoma in 33 tries, I think. So it's big for them. Alex Bowman is their quarterback, who is been a journeyman around and played for several different teams. And it was big for him. So, they have really righted the ship. They started season 2-2, have won 5 in a row now, and really playing some good ball. And I'm going to give the good to them. There's a couple of others. I mean, it was good to see Sam Pittman in Arkansas get the first win ever in the Swamp. I thought that was a good win as well for them, especially for them. They were 2-6. But to go in there and put up 39 points, win in overtime, I mean, it was a good win for them as well. Of course, Georgia beating Missouri and staying in Alabama, I'd have to put them as good as well. They looked really good, I thought, one of the late CBS games last night, beating LSU 42-28. So that would be my good for Week 10. The bad, I mean, the opposite of some of those. I'm trying to think. The bad, I'm going to be honest with you. Mississippi State's pretty bad. It doesn't look good over there for Zach Arnett. I mean, they got injuries everywhere. They have 2 great linebackers, Watson and we just played them last night. I can't think the kid's name. Jet something. But they have 2 really, really good linebackers. But they just are decimated by injuries, and they do not look good at all. So I definitely am going to call them back. Notre Dame and Hartman getting beat 5 times by Clemson, that's got to be bad. I mean, they were favored in that game going into Tiger Stadium. I just, it's a game that they should have won, I believe. And coming out of there with a loss and 3 losses now, I mean, Marcus Freeman, Sam Hartman, and Notre Dame losing that game was definitely bad yesterday. Oklahoma, Brent Venables losing yesterday in Bedlam. It was on the road. Their last one in the Big 12 was kind of bad. The ugly, I can't get anything else out of my head except for USC's defense. Giving up 52 points. Caleb Williams goes into the stands after the end of the game and literally, I guess it's his mom, a family member is there, and he literally just buries himself in there and cries his eyes out when the game is over. I'm not saying everybody has emotion, everybody's, invested in this game. But I mean, it's just bad to see. It's ugly. I mean, what's going on out there? You bring in Lincoln Riley, you get Caleb Williams, you win the Heisman, bring him back. It's just what's going on out there right now. You bring in several, transfers on the defensive side of the ball and think you're going to get this fixed and challenge for a college football playoff spot and maybe a championship, and the wheels have just fallen off. And I can't think of anything else that's more ugly this week than USC, Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams, what's going on with him, and what it meant to him to come back and be there, to lose at home the way they did. It's ugly. It's absolutely ugly. So my week 10 ugly is going to be USC Trojans and what's going on out there. So I'll end it with that. I'm going to let you guys see a advertisement here.
Hey guys, it's Brad with College SportsCast, and we're presented by the Fanboys. We are now a part of WSBN TV on Channel 30. It's World Sports Broadcasting Network, a streaming service TV, and we are excited to be on that. We want you guys to know how to find us. Go to Boxcast app, download the app. Once you do, you can find us on Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire Stick as well. So we cover college sports, of course. We talk about certain teams and hot topics and news. We do game day pick'ems, and we do week wrap-up shows as well as special guests. So we would love to have you tune in and watch our shows on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. That was me, of course, talking about WSBN TV, our Channel 30, and how to find us on that. So we love being on WSBN TV. So check us out. You can find us on Roku and Apple and all that good stuff. It's great to be on. All right. With that said, guys, I am going to take a quick look at the week ahead and take a quick look at week 11 in college football. And I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about college basketball, because college basketball starts tomorrow, and I'm a little excited about that. I love basketball, been coaching basketball, played football as well, but my first love is basketball. So the week ahead, there are ranked versus ranked. There are two top 10 matchups coming up on November the 11th. So they are going to be two fun, really good matchups to pay attention to. We've got number 10, Mississippi goes to Georgia in Athens, number 1. It's the 5th time that the Rebels and the Bulldogs have met as ranked teams, and the first time since 2016 that they have met as ranked teams. And the second one is number 2, Michigan travels to Penn State. Number 9, Penn State. It is the third straight ranked matchup in the series and sixth in the past 7 years. This one is in Happy Valley, and night, the white towels and all that is going to be a crazy place. So it should be a really, really fun game to pay attention to next Saturday. We have another ranked matchup, top 15. We have number 13, Utah, going to number 5, Washington. Utah coming off of a 55-point win, where they scored 55 points. The third time the Utes and the Huskies will play when both are ranked. And then we have another fun matchup in the East. Number 14, Tennessee travels to number 16, Missouri next week. It's the first time in 12 meetings that both will be ranked against each other here for Tennessee and Missouri. So those are your ranked matchups for week 11. All right. To continue, a quick look ahead to go beyond the ranked matchups, we have Alabama travels to Kentucky. We all know I'm a Kentucky fan, so I'm interested in that one. Alabama's playing really, really well. Alabama's 8-1. Kentucky is 6-3. We will see what happens at Kroger Field, but top 25 stuff. Let's see. Texas Tech plays Kansas. Miami plays at FSU. That might not be a good one to pay attention to. Let's see. Oklahoma State plays at UCF. West Virginia travels to Oklahoma. West Virginia 6-3. Oklahoma 7-2. West Virginia's been playing really well. So that one's a good one to pay attention to. Texas plays at TCU. TCU's only 4-5. They've really had a rough season after losing a lot last year. Florida and LSU play next week. 5-4, 6-3. LSU's not having the season that everybody thought they were. USC travels to Oregon next week as well. That is going to be a big one, because if they were to upset Oregon, it would shake things up in the Pac-12. USC 7-3, Oregon's 8-1. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. Those are the top week 11 games that I want to mention. Again, week 11 look ahead. I'm going to talk a little bit about college basketball here. So college basketball begins this week. On Tuesday night, I believe there is a couple of games on Tuesday night. We have Auburn and Baylor playing each other on Tuesday night, which should be a really, really good game to pay attention to on Tuesday night this week. And there's another one. I think it's Tennessee plays somebody, but I'm not seeing it right now. Early. Tennessee plays Wisconsin on Friday night this week. could be an interesting game. So they play each other this week coming up. There's not a lot of like top the first 3 or 4 nights. So we'll talk about college basketball more as it opens up, but it begins tomorrow night. Kentucky plays tomorrow night, small school, North New Mexico, actually the Lobos. New Mexico State is who we play, not the Lobos. We play New Mexico State, and they got a new coach and a lot of stuff going on out there. So, but it's exciting to have college basketball back. It begins tomorrow night. We will be integrating college basketball into our show to go with football, just so you guys know, just like on our Big Fuss show, we will integrate some topics and some news and topics and things for college basketball as well as college football. And then when we do our game day pick'em show from now on, we will integrate a couple of 2 to 4 to 6 college basketball games to talk about each weekend and do some picks on college basketball as well. We may cut down on, we've been doing 12 games in college football in order to time save and do a few college basketball games. We may do like 8 and do a few college basketball and do about 8 college football games. James Bowman, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the saying we're doing a good job. Appreciate you being on with us, man. Just want to let you know. So give you guys a quick look ahead. Our next show is going to be Tuesday night, November the 7th at 8 o'clock. That's going to be our Big Fuss show for week 11. We will be doing that, and we'll have some hot topics. I'm sure we'll be talking about Alex Grinch and the firing of Alex Grinch and a few other topics, I'm sure, this week. And got some top 10 matchups to talk about and lots of different stuff. We've got college basketball to talk about. So we will be starting up a lot of cool new stuff. And pay attention to us Tuesday night, November 7th, 8 p.m., the Big Fuss Show, week 11. And to wrap things up, again, I want to talk about Home Field. We are proud partner of Home Field now. You can get premium licensed college vintage apparel. There's over 100, I'm going to say 80 teams because I have looked it up and kind of counted myself. There's over 180 teams. You can use the code CSCast for 15% off if you're a first-time buyer. They have some really cool retro logos, designs, mascots, throwback teams. They've got some bomber jackets that just come out. There's, I'm going to guess right now, over 50 or 60 teams with the bomber jackets. They're bringing more out each day this week for the can't miss tip off for college basketball special deal that they are doing this week. So pay attention to them. They got some really cool stuff. The Kentucky bomber jacket just came out yesterday. It's fantastic. Great Christmas gift to give somebody, to give your dad, to give your son. It is an awesome Christmas gift. It's vintage. It's from the mascot that was used from 86 to 2005. Check it out. It's a great bomber jacket. They have new snapback hats this week. There is a lot coming out, and new teams, new throwbacks, new championship series shirts this week, all the way from like women's Big Sky championships. And I mean, you can find it out and check off a lot of cool stuff and check them out at homefieldapparel.com. Again, use our code CSCast for a 15% discount. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being on with me, and I am going to wrap this up. This has been College SportsCast, the weekend wrap-up show, week 10 for college football, season 2 for College SportsCast, and we appreciate you being with us. Check us out next time, Tuesday night, November the 7th at 8 p.m.